Yep, I'm doing this. Aloha, everybody! It is I, the Great Clement, and I am now tackling the first entry of the Sonic Boom video games. This one was developed by Big Red Button Entertainment, and it's actually rather infamous. This game was one of the worst received video games of 2014, and the Sonic fanbase don't like this game very much. Ugh. So sorry to disappoint people coming into this expecting that I was going to do a 3-hour review where I drank lots of cherry whiskey and didn't take my medication and just screamed and yelled for a long time about how terrible it is. But I don't think it's nearly Sonic 06 bad. But don't get me wrong, folks. If you were to ask me, Clement, would you recommend Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric? I'm very interested in this game. Should I pick it up? I would say no. I would say skip out on Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. There are much better games worth your time, much better games worth your money. This game is not really worth finding and playing. But, quite frankly, I still like this game more than Lost World on 3DS, so that means something to me. Let's get into it.
What's the matter, Sonic? Can't keep up?
You were saying?
I didn't mean that literally. It was a taunt. It's Villainy 101.
Amy, Knuckles, go left!
Give me a sec. I'm on it.
Pads are awesome!
Okay, so right off the bat, the game starts off with a speed section. Yes, I'm calling it a speed section because this game's not usually very speedy. You can use the L and R buttons to move left and right, and you just want to dodge everything that comes your way.
All right, this is getting old. Let's jump ahead to the part where I ambush you.
Great! Metal Sonic has to show up right when Eggman is springing a surprise attack on us.
How cute! You need your friends to save you.
Watch out! He's destroying the road!
I don't need anyone to stop you!
Not what it looks like from up here.
Why don't you come down here and find out?
They are doing a lot of damage!
Why? Will your friends beat me up? Where is this darn clearing?
Whoa!
Something you'll know about Sonic Boom is that the characters never really shut up. They're constantly going to be talking and talking and talking throughout this game, so I'm going to be talking over a lot of their dialogue when gameplay is happening.
Well, what are you waiting for? After them! Oh, Sonic! You know what's better than an ambush?
An ambush with ice cream?
That sounds delicious. But no! The post-ambush ambush!
Uh-oh.
So I dug up these ancient robots, and it took me forever to figure out how to control them. And then I couldn't have all that effort go to waste unless I'd sick them on you! Try to appreciate all the work I put in as they destroy you. Toodles!
And now we get to the combat, ladies and gentlemen, because Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is an adventure platformer that is a lot slower paced than any Sonic game you've played before this. And there's a lot of robots to beat up, a lot of henchmen to beat up with punches and kicks and spin dashes and homing attacks, and we're going to be doing this a lot.
A forest. This is more like it.
Quite peaceful.
And now we get into the game proper. What you're seeing right now with Sonic's running speed, that's his best running speed. He doesn't go super fast in this game unless he's in a speed section. Most of the time, he's going for a nice brisk jog as you go through the areas.
Sonic, do you see that structure way over there?
I do, buddy. I don't know what it is, but no harm in finding out. Let's head over there.
Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is certainly a more slower-paced Sonic game than any you've played before it. Even Sonic Lost World, where I commented that it was a little bit slower than the games that came before that. Rise of Lyric is trying to emulate a lot of kids' games like the Traveler's Tales Lego games, for example. So Sonic doesn't really move super fast on screen. You're going to be playing as multiple characters other than Sonic. You're going to be playing as both Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, and each one of them have different abilities that allow them to traverse through areas. And again, this is just a more slower-paced kind of platformer where you're finding collectibles, you are going to be solving puzzles, you're going to be trying to figure out how to platform and get to the next area, and you're also going to be running into a whole bunch of robots that you have to beat up on because this game is filled with combat.
We need to find the best way through this place. I think we should split up for a bit. You take the left, and I'll check out the right.
Sounds like a plan.
By the way, if you see any kind of frame rate drops in the cutscenes, in the gameplay that you're watching, chances are it's not my actual recording software, it's actually Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric itself. The game is a very unstable, very unpolished video game, and certainly, especially when it comes to the speed sections, frame drops happen like all the freaking time. And there's like weird audio glitches, and there's weird like... It's not a technically amazing game, I'll just say that. Sonic Boom, I'm not going to say it's on a disaster level like Sonic 06 is, but it certainly has its problems. Look, this game is rather infamous. You've already seen lots of your favorite YouTubers talk about why this is one of the worst Sonic games ever made or whatever. I don't know how far I agree with that, but it certainly has problems, yo. It has problems.
You made it!
What happened to Metal?
Let's just say he won't be bothering us again. Unless he comes back.
What is this place? Don't touch that! I've got a bad feeling about this place.
Guys, check this out!
How is that possible? These ancient carvings look just like Sonic and Tails! What the heck are those things?
We fought some of them before.
What, without us? Oh, you know how much I like punching things.
Be my guest.
Right behind you! Looks like we have a fight, Knuckles!
Before I uploaded this Let's Play, I also uploaded an intro video to explain the Sonic Boom franchise. So if this is your first time ever seeing Sonic Boom, and you're wondering why Knuckles is super muscular and buff, and even stupider than usual, this is a completely different continuity from the main timeline of Sonic. So like, we don't have a Station Square in Sonic Boom. Eggman hasn't blown up the moon in Sonic Boom. We haven't had Shadow the Hedgehog being created by Gerald Robotnik and his blood belongs to Black Doom in the Sonic Boomiverse. At least I don't think so, unless they actually established that in the cartoon show for no reason whatsoever. But completely different continuity of Sonic, has no connection to the original Sonic, has no connection to the green hills and chemical plants that you're familiar with.
That was awesome! these guys.
Guys, this way!
Just as I thought.
Whoa, look over there.
What do you think that is?
It may lead to a path out of our current predicament.
And then that's where we're headed.
We can't get across this huge chasm.
Gang, there are doorways to our right.
Then we go that way.
There's no time like the present.
Wait, there are presents?
No.
This section is mine. Only someone of my stature and brains can handle this.
I'm the only one who can handle this area. Thanks, though.
I got this one.
I'll meet you up there. I'll go this way.
Let's get out of here.
Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric came out literally the same week as the TV show did. The TV show aired, I think, Saturday, and then the game came out 3 days later on a Tuesday. So only one episode had aired when the game dropped, and there wasn't a lot of details we knew about the show beyond that first initial episode. But the tone was drastically different, let me tell you. In the very first episode of Sonic Boom, there was a scenario where Dr. Eggman went over to Sonic and Tails' house, and because his base blew up, he had to be their roommate. And so Sonic, Tails, and Eggman were roommates living together, and they were really annoyed because Eggman was a really terrible roommate. That's the kind of show Sonic Boom is. It's really clever, it's a joke a minute, it's really well-paced and stuff. And so when you get to, like, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, the video game, especially 4 years after seeing 2 seasons worth of the show, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric's not nearly as entertaining as the show is. Take it from me, guys. Sonic Boom, the TV show, is legitimately funny. Like, I always get a lot of belly laughs from that show. And Rise of Lyric, I don't know if it captures the attitude or atmosphere of the show very well. The problem with video games is that you always have to design, like, lots of big levels. And when you have lots of big levels where you're platforming and solving puzzles and trying to navigate your way through things, you can't have a joke a minute, and sometimes the tone's going to be very different. Sonic Boom, the games, are a lot more adventurous, they're a lot more intense and serious than the actual TV show, which doesn't take itself seriously at all. So, a little jarring when you're going from TV show to game, let me tell you. But as you saw in that first section, we're getting tutorials on all the 4 playable characters. Sonic has the ability to spin dash. He also has the ability to do a homing attack, though we haven't really shown off the homing attack feature yet. So that's a thing.
Knuckles and I would most efficiently handle this situation.
Let's get going. They can meet up with us later.
See ya!
And now we're going to be playing as Miles Tails Prower, who has the same ability. Here's the same abilities that everybody has, okay? They all attack, they all have the ability to dodge roll, because you'll be dodge rolling when you're in combat, and they all have the ability to double jump. So when you jump once, jump again, you will have a second double jump. They also have the ability to do a ground pound. Every character has the ability to do a ground pound when you jump and then push the left button. And you're going to have to do that in order to push down all of these green switches, which will make all of these contraptions move and all these doors open. And again, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is a much slower paced platform game than the Sonic games that came before it. We're not doing acts of things. We're not doing like, oh, Lyric Ruins, Act 1 or something. No, no. Most of these levels go on for like 20 to 30 minutes, and you're going to be solving a lot of puzzles along the way. A very slower paced game, very much like the Traveler's Tales Lego games, or any kind of adventure platformer that you might have grew up on. Maybe you're familiar with Crash of the Titans. Maybe you're familiar with Pac-Man World 3. Maybe you're familiar with some kind of generic American kids platformer. That's what Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric is going for. And if that immediately turns you off, if that immediately makes you go, well, that's not the Sonic I want to play, well then you know right away not to play this. Don't pick up a copy of this game. But Tails has the ability to fly, sort of. He doesn't go up, he just has the ability to hover and slowly fall to his destination. And he can also be lifted by wind turbines in order to reach higher places when you actually find those. But for the most part, he and Sonic are not very different. He shoots a lot of bombs in combat, so he's a good ranged fighter.
Okay, Sonic, it's you and me. Easy as 1, 2, 3!
Amy Rose is the agile character who has a triple jump. Every other character has a double jump, but Amy can jump 3 times when she's platforming around. So there's always going to be these nice color-coded, context-sensitive kind of things throughout every single area. You know that Knuckles will be able to climb this wall because it's red and it's filled with all kinds of red jewels. You know Amy's going to be climbing this part because there's lots of pink bars. You know Tails is going to be using this turbine because the turbine is yellow. You know Sonic's going to be bouncing off of these orbs because these orbs are blue, you know? This game is pretty much made for children, and I'm not talking like 15-year-old children. I guess those would be teenagers, but I'm talking little children. I'm talking really young children who are like 5 to 10 years old. And you know what? And I know I always get shit for this. I will justify myself later as the playthrough goes on, but I don't think Rise of Lyric is the most terrible game for like 5 to 10-year-olds. Yes, they would also like Sonic Mania. Yes, they would also like Sonic 2. But you know, I feel like kids' tastes can be very different from ours, and I'm not going to assume that a kid would not enjoy this. I have babysat many kids in my life, and I'm telling you, there are a lot of kids who would enjoy this kind of gameplay style. Alright, I'm gonna climb this structure. I'm gonna get... like, assholes! I just freaking unset the puzzle. I moved as fast as I could, and it immediately uncurls, so I have to wait for it. Ugh. But I digress. There's lots of collectibles scattered throughout the game. There's lots of rings to collect. You can only hold 100 maximum as the game starts up. But if you own Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal on the 3DS, and you've beaten it, and you connect it with your Wii U, you can get some more rings. There's a lot of Shattered Crystal connectivity bonuses that I could talk about, which I'm actually not going to be taking advantage of, even though I can. Just because this game is easy all by itself. I don't really need the assist, you know?
How about Tails and I handle this? I can climb this easily.
And so now we have Knuckles, who, like I said earlier, he can climb things. He can climb all these red rocks, and he can also climb red ceilings. He can attack when he's on a red ceiling. And I guess in terms of combat, he is the slowest, but also the strongest character. He's always going to be dealing out the best damage to all the robots that you'll be facing along the entire adventure. And that's the big major difference between these 4 characters, other than like their special ability when you're in combat, because everybody has a special ability when you push the Y button. You have basic attacks, and then you have the special attacks. So like, Sonic will do a spin dash as his special attack. He'll do a homing attack as his special attack. Tails will send out this little helper robot that will actually run towards and damage enemies. Amy has this spin attack where she could spin continuously with her hammer. And Knuckles has an ability where, on regular surfaces, he does something that looks like he's kind of like kick dancing, or not kick dancing, what's the term? He's doing like this weird move where he spins on his head and he fucking like jumps right up. But like, there are certain areas in this game where Knuckles can actually burrow into the ground. And if you burrow into the ground while in combat, you can actually rise up and, like, uppercut robots from underneath the ground. So, like, they can't hurt you while you're down there, and you can get nice, sweet moves in on them when they least expect it. And, the combat's not nearly as deep as the Werehogs was in Sonic Unleashed, but you do have 4 characters that you can alternate between. They all have their own thing going on, and it's just a very simple beat-em-up, what can I tell you? But, yeah, again, this opening area is just lots of tutorials. It's just showing you everything that the 4 characters are capable of. Showing you that you can hit switches while hanging on a ceiling. Showing you that you can go from wall to ceiling while climbing as Knuckles. And, yeah, I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. And how about the fact that we're not actually fighting any enemies whatsoever? You know, I was very surprised when I jumped into Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, but there were actually a lot of slower-paced moments where you're just doing lots of platforming and you're not fighting enemies, which, honestly, I don't hate.
Hey, we made it all the way around to this room!
See? All that hard work paid off.
Our journey was a success!
Finally. I'm tired of going around in circles.
You see, guys? I told you I'd find the exit. No problem.
I don't think those doors were to keep us out. They were to keep that in.
Let's get out of here. Oh, wait, I forgot. We can't.
Not cool, Sonic. You locked us in.
Locked us in? I was saving you.
We didn't need saving.
Yeah.
Guys, can we put a pin in this for a second?
You and I have unfinished business.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad thing. Now I'm convinced it's a bad thing. Ah!
1,000 years later and you're still predictable.
What's he talking about?
He dodged my spin attack. Nobody's ever done that before.
Rise, my warriors. We have a world to destroy. Now, let's see what 1,000 years in prison will do to you.
What just happened?
Well, let's see. We discovered an ancient tomb, moved those mirror things around, and got steamrolled by a 1,000-year-old reptile. Did I leave anything out?
Yeah, you forgot the part where it was all Sonic's fault.
I was saving you!
Speaking of saving us, I almost have this thing figured out.
Here we go!
I seriously remember the pacing of the cutscenes being a lot better in 2014. I am really spoiled by the 2 seasons of Sonic Boom that have aired because the show is so damn funny, and when I watch this video game, I'm just like, man, these cutscenes are so dry and wooden.
We gotta stop that slithery psycho.
First, we gotta get out of here.
Tails, friendship bracelets? Now?
Not exactly. I recalibrated the shackles into sort of energy beams.
Great work, buddy. Maybe we can use these things to find a way out.
And now we got ourselves a new ability in the form of the Enter Beam. When you hold the A button down, you'll be able to use this electric laser whip, which will grab enemies. Most enemies, anyway. It can't grab any of the bigger gargantuan enemies, but when it comes to little soldier guys, the spinner things that are in the sky, you can grab all of those and actually throw them at objects like this statue right here, because Knuckles implied that we should throw something at it. But it'll take a little bit more time to throw a bigger grunt just because they're not as light as the spinner robots. But once you're holding the A button, you just aim the control stick, you can aim it at objects, you can aim it at enemies, and that's a nice way to throw them off into pits so you can end fights a little bit quicker. But now we're hanging from this rail, and the only thing we can do on this rail is move Sonic around with the left analog stick. We can move him right, we can move him left. I would say that we need to dodge Lyric's explosions, but I don't think I've ever been hit by them. Maybe it's possible. I'm not sure. This is the beginning of the game. This is a tutorial game. And this is a game made for children where lives don't really exist. Death is kind of meaningless. And this is just kind of a cakewalk game that sort of plays itself. So I don't really have any advice to give you when it comes to playing this game, because anyone could beat this game no problem. This game seems to be made for really young children, but yeah. In the speed sections, again, you can double jump, you can move left and right with the L and R buttons, and you just want to dodge everything that comes your way. So yeah, that's the opening area, folks. Most areas in Rise of Lyric are like 20 minutes to 30 minutes long, so the parts of this playthrough are probably going to be longer than usual. And we're going to be doing lots of puzzle solving, we're going to be doing lots of platforming, we're going to be doing lots of combat. So I might get bored of things to talk about after a while, and I might have to bring in some guests to talk over this, because it's very much like the Werehog gameplay from Sonic Unleashed. We'll see how long it takes for me to get bored, but I do have lots more to talk about with this game. I do have lots more to cover, so don't worry. I'll get to it. This is only part 1. And I'll see you guys in part 2. Oh wait, my commentary was far too nice. This is the worstest video game I've ever played in my whole entire life! Oh my god, the design was the worstest thing ever! Such a miserable experience! Ah!